I have thought many times, Visham, because of my age and above all, because I have lived a very active life throughout my professional career. And the time I've got left, I would like to spend it well. Feeling calm and peaceful, writing, reading, spending time with my family, especially my dear wife, playing my guitar, which I truly enjoy so much. And the life that I am currently living, in spreading my message, I can assure you it entails a very active life. It truly demands a great deal of activity. And this logically puts a great deal of pressure on my family, and it's contrary to my original intentions. Why do I keep doing this? First of all, because we receive so much feedback through social media from people who thank us for the good they get from watching our videos, that we help them awaken their consciousness. We have even had cases of people who wanted to commit suicide, and after watching our message videos, they didn't commit suicide. They eliminated this sad thought, this sad way of ending our journey in the human dimension. This is a factor that, for me, is extremely important. In the second place, it also has a very significant influence. To think that I can contribute my small, humble grain of sand to achieve what I always say, to try to bring together a critical mass, a sufficient number of open-minded people in order to truly change this magnificent world of ours. This wonderful world now dominated by egocentrism, and the way it's going, it seems we're heading for a series of significant misfortunes, and it even threatens to compromise the very existence of humanity. I believe that by awakening, by helping to awaken people's consciousness, I contribute my small part to achieve a collective awakening, to shift our way of thinking, and to ensure this world becomes the marvel it truly is.
Ego and self-esteem, do they have any kind of relationship? Does a bigger ego mean less self-esteem?
This is true. The ego provides us with a false identity. It is not our authentic identity. It's an external material identity that fundamentally depends on the opinions of others. Because of this, every day the ego, when we go out into the street, makes us put on a mask. We feel we have to please others. On the other hand, authentic self-esteem is how one truly values oneself, based on their intrinsic values, their authentic identity, the transcendence they possess, and also, quite logically, the opinions of others. But for him, what matters most is his self-esteem, to truly understand, awaken to, and establish himself in his authentic identity, which is in fact self-esteem. Therefore, the more egocentric we become, the less authentic we will truly be. Consequently, we will possess less genuine self-esteem.
To what extent is our human perception of time an illusion?
This is quite evident and can be clearly demonstrated. It also depends entirely on one's existential understanding. As long as we are deeply rooted in the ego, we know that the ego always operates from the past. It awakens feelings of guilt within us. The past always makes us think, I didn't do this well, I should have done it in a different way, this person truly wronged me. It always conditions us for suffering. And the other way to manifest itself is in the future. I absolutely must achieve this crucial objective, and I truly desire to obtain this entire collection of items. He never truly finds himself in the present. The present moment always fills him with anguish. Because this is the time of our true, authentic existential reality, of superconsciousness. Superconsciousness only knows the present. It has neither a past nor a future. That's why it has intuition, it has precognition, because both the future and the past, everything exists in the present. Patients in near-death experiences report this very well and clearly. They tell us they perceive, as if on a screen with vivid flashes, their past life, their present, and even glimpses of their future, and they witness it all simultaneously. Consequently, time is merely an illusion that we ourselves construct. Time, however, is linear within our human dimension, past, present, and future. It is merely an illusion. The true reality is the present moment, which represents the reality of our superconsciousness. Einstein himself already articulated this idea. Both the past and the future are, according to Einstein, nothing more than an illusion of our own minds.
Is there a predetermined purpose, or does each individual create it for themselves?
Our existential reality is to forge a path within the human dimension, and the ultimate purpose is to discover the true self, to uncover our higher consciousness. To achieve this, along this journey, we will encounter a series of difficulties, of challenges that destiny places in our path, that our own journey presents to us to eliminate impurities and to gradually discover our superconsciousness. Since I personally do not believe in either pure chance or simple coincidence, but instead in a principle of causality, I have always maintained that each and every obstacle that I come across, instead of being a problem for me, at this moment I see it as a blessing, a stroke of luck, because facing a problem that would bring me pain and suffering, it makes me evolve. It helps me to understand pause, in what ways I am mistaken, in what ways I am separated from my superconsciousness. It is a teaching. I believe that this path is laid out for us to go about eliminating impurities and to reach our superconsciousness.
Is the human being truly the master of their decision, or are we conditioned by our biology and our environment?
It is true that the biology and the environment, today we have a scientific discipline, epigenetics, which influences in a very profound way on human beings. It even affects the genome. It can change our genome. It doesn't change the nucleotide sequence, but it can activate or inhibit genes, especially through methylation processes. But what I do believe is very evident is that we possess a fundamental faculty, which is free will. It is freedom. We have a path, Denise, and we will encounter difficulties on that path as we strive to improve eliminating impurities. But we have one fundamental thing, no? Now, the tam, the person, that this depends entirely on us. That is our free will, the inherent freedom that we possess. This freedom, it's a mental activity that is unique to our brain, particularly in the prefrontal cortex, working in conjunction with our intellectual and rational capabilities. This is where free will is exercised, right here in the prefrontal area. We have the freedom to choose between good and evil. We have the ability to freely choose this. We have already stated that we will choose one thing or another depending on how we think. That is to say, our character, the specific personality we have developed, but we always have the freedom to make our own choices. Therefore, the path that we must follow, the extent of our development and our approximation to our higher consciousness is dependent upon us. If we did not possess our freedom, then life would have no meaning. We would be completely predetermined regarding everything we are supposed to do. Then life would have no purpose or meaning whatsoever. Life has meaning in the sense that we can do one thing or another. We can approach discovering and acting according to our existential reality, or continue with our egocentrism and persist with negative attitudes. We have the freedom to choose.
What importance does forgiveness have in the evolution of a person?
Forgiveness is the highest and most profound thing that a person can ever manifest. It demonstrates an extraordinary and remarkable degree of personal evolution, a tremendous degree of approximation to a higher, more enlightened state of consciousness. So you're saying that you recognize to that other person who is your brother, all of us are bound together by love, and who has done something that harms you, and instead of attacking them, responding to them with their very same attitude, you recognize that he is a brother and his situation makes you sad. This means he is at a very primitive evolutionary stage. That's why he is capable of treating you in this manner, capable of assaulting you, of even killing you. It means he is very undeveloped, and what you recognize in him is a very sad, very poor evolutionary level. You're feeling embarrassed? And you are able to forgive him because you perceive him as a brother who needs your support and assistance to truly grow and evolve.
There are videos where he states that we face a significant issue with our young people due to the high number of suicides, and then others where he advocates that we must place our trust in the younger generation. So what exactly is the ultimate conclusion?
The youth is quite extraordinary. I learn a great deal from young people. I am always surrounded by them. I was always surrounded during my active period at the Faculty of Medicine and Dentistry by young people. My residents, young students, people who came on Erasmus exchanges and so on in the department. I have always learned from them, their vitality, their spontaneity, their naturalness, their enthusiasm, their ability to establish projects. You always learn from them. It's an incentive, a great stimulus for us. What's happening is what we've discussed on many different occasions, that our society has structured a misguided educational dynamic. Thus, the fundamental core of education is the family, and our society is destroying the family. And instead of educating, it simply programs. This is the most significant flaw. Current education is directed and polarized towards programming individuals, providing them with specific concepts and tools to develop a particular path, either one they personally prefer or one that society has designed for them. They must become a good engineer, a good doctor, a good journalist, and it will be, because at present, progress is extremely important. But the thing is, people, apart from developing a professional activity, or an active one of whatever type it may be, which requires specific training and certain tools to be able to carry it out, and also practice, it possesses certain values, which is truly the most important aspect. And it also has a superconsciousness. And this profound state can only be attained through a truly good education, because education is about stimulating and developing a child's self-esteem, helping them discover their authentic reality, the inherent values they carry, the potential they hold deep within, and their unique existential reality. And this is achieved by convincing, not conquering, and love is the main weapon. I have great faith in youth, and I hope that soon it awakens and realizes that ego is necessary, as we always say, that progress is necessary, that preparation and programming are necessary. But more important than this is to discover and act according to your existential reality, which is your super consciousness.
In one of his recent interviews with the renowned neurosurgeon Andreu Barros, he mentioned that NDEs reminded him of dreams. Do you believe that studying dreams could offer us significantly more insight into this?
Dreams are a manifestation of the thoughts and feelings within our subconscious. What I mean is, it's a mental activity, the subconscious, the one that Freud himself described. It's the place where all our history is accumulated, our memories, our experiences, our habits. All our history is in the subconscious, and we take it with us at the moment of physical death. So in sleep, there are several stages, and when we reach REM sleep, that's the MOR phase. MOR stands for rapid eye movement. There are several phases of rapid eye movements during a night's sleep, and it is in these moments that dreaming occurs. They are metaphorical manifestations of experiences we've had which, for some reason, have conditioned, a certain stress. The near-death experience is something altogether different. It is the manifestation of our superconsciousness in a situation where the individual is clinically dead. Consequently, the electroencephalogram is completely flat. There is no cortical activity, no brain activity at all. It's quite distinct from a normal dream state. What truly happens is that certain individuals, during their sleep, as the ego becomes inhibited, in these specific people, superconsciousness can then manifest itself as sudden flashes. And there are indeed people for whom this occurs, that they have during sleep manifestations unique to their superconsciousness. For example, it is often said, and we have mentioned it on other occasions, that the sensation of flying appears to be a manifestation of superconsciousness during a person's deep sleep.
What is it that drives you to continue investigating and sharing your knowledge, despite any criticism?
This is a very good question, this one. I've taught many times because of my age, and especially since I've led a very active life throughout my professional career, that the time I have left, I would like to spend it being calm, writing, reading next to my family, especially my wife, playing the guitar, which I truly love. And the life that I am living at present, in spreading my message, I can assure you it entails a very active life. It truly demands a great deal of activity. And this, quite logically, create a great deal of tension for my family. And it goes completely against what I truly wish to accomplish. Why do I persist in doing this? First and foremost, because we receive countless messages through social media from people expressing their gratitude for the positive impact they gain by listening to our videos and how we help them to awaken their awareness. We've even had cases of individuals who intended to take their own lives, and after watching the videos conveying our message, they have decided against it. They haven't committed suicide. They've cast aside this sad thought and this sorrowful way of ending our journey in the human dimension. This is a factor that for me is of utmost importance. Secondly, it greatly influences too. To think that I can contribute my own small part to help bring about what I always talk about, to try and achieve a critical mass, a sufficient number of open-minded individuals to ultimately transform this wonderful world of ours. This wonderful world which is now dominated by ego, by egocentrism, and that given the path it's currently on, it seems we are heading towards a series of very significant misfortunes and even putting into jeopardy the very vital situation of human beings. I believe that by awakening, by actively helping to awaken people's consciousness, I contribute my small grain of sand to achieve a broader awakening of awareness, to shift our collective paradigm, and ultimately make this world a truly magnificent place, because in essence, it already is. And finally, I must confess to you honestly that what His Holiness conveyed to me, for me, it truly made a very significant impression in this regard. His Holiness insisted, he knows my book, I gave him a copy, but he was already quite familiar with it. He insisted very intensely that I should continue with my attitude, my dynamic, and extend my message, and that he would pray for me to do so or to continue. Logically, this also had a very significant impact on me.
Although he doesn't exactly repeat the precise words of the Catholic Church, in fact, there are some of his own theories that go directly against the established dogmas of the Catholic Church. Were you surprised by this particular statement from His Holiness Pope Francis?
I have never at any point said anything that goes against the Catholic Church. I was born and raised in a very Christian family. I was Catholic. I was not only Catholic in my belief, but a practitioner. Then came a time when I had my crisis and I fell away due to my materialism, my egocentrism, especially during my time studying at the Faculty of Medicine. I have always maintained a certain spirituality, and now currently my spirituality is very high. I am totally convinced of this, and I always say the same thing in my messages. There is a primal consciousness, a fundamental intelligence from which my superconsciousness is entirely holistic. I possess this primary consciousness, which is truly the origin of all religions, and which I personally refer to as God. God, to me, is so incredibly kind and generous that He manifests Himself within each and every one of us. I hold Him deep inside, within my superconsciousness. I have God dwelling within me. In this, the Pope was totally in agreement with it. And that therefore, I am a body that possesses a mind, a direct consequence of my neurons, of my 100 billion neurons. But beyond this, my true reality is this manifestation of God within me, which is superconsciousness. The Pope is in complete agreement with me on this point, that we have God within us. Jesus Himself said it. You were created in the very image and likeness of Abba. Abba is the primordial consciousness. You are truly children of God. They kept asking Him, where can we possibly find Him? We simply cannot see Him. And God, Jesus, then told them, but if He is right here among you, He is present right here among you, and yet you do not know how to perceive Him. Within each of you, knowing your superconsciousness, you must control the ego and let your higher consciousness emerge. The Pope is in complete agreement. We say the same thing. I say higher consciousness, others say spirit, others say soul, call it what you will. And that there is a God, if it's the very same. I'm saying exactly the same. Evidently, from a scientific point of view, I always look for scientific and objective foundations to convince people. And this is precisely the difference with religion, which the Pope himself recognized and agreed with me on. That religion and the church are driven by their dogmas. And people today, the dogma, which is a truth you are told to believe without it being proven to you, people don't accept it. People are always looking for logical reasoning. And what I aim to achieve with my investigations and the significant conclusions I have drawn from my extensive studies of near-death experiences is to unequivocally demonstrate the undeniable existence of this primary consciousness. Furthermore, to show that this fundamental consciousness manifests within each and every one of us in a truly objective and scientifically verifiable manner. And this, ultimately, is what people genuinely believe. When I give a lecture in theaters, most of the people are young. Young people have a tremendous desire to discover transcendence in life. They want to avoid reaching these very sad situations of suicide. This, εκεί συνήσιμ, in this superconsciousness, ask Him to return to his origin, that he is very important. In all this, we agree with the Pope. The only thing we differ on is that people don't accept the dogma. And I believe them because I've previously proven it to myself in a scientific and objective way. And this is precisely what I aim to accomplish. Because of this, I fill theaters and the churches are not so full. Evidently, there are some aspects like reincarnation, which I personally have no experience with, but I know that scientifically there are a number of proofs that make it difficult to deny reincarnation today. It must be accepted. The Church speaks of the resurrection at the end of times. I don't have any experience with reincarnation. I repeat, I'm just saying what I've read. That reincarnation today, there is objective evidence, and from very well prepared people, from great scientists, that reincarnation has a basis for belief in it.
If I could leave just one message for all future generations, what would it be?
It's truly a magnificent thing to realize how wonderful our life is.
It's a gift and a miracle. I always tell people that we are able to perceive the divine essence present in every single object on our planet. And this profound understanding is only truly possible when one's life is lived under the guidance of higher principles. He has discovered within his existential understanding the concept of superconsciousness. This superconsciousness, while manifesting in a temporary ephemeral body, possesses a true essence that is itself superconsciousness, and this is transcendent. Therefore, my advice to him would be that his path should be to discover his true self. Don't base it on acquiring material possessions, success, fame, wealth, and money. You'll have moments of pleasure, but you'll have an inner void, and you'll see many people commit suicide because life has no meaning. How can this be? In an unconscious way, through near-death experiences and consciously, how? Through meditation. Meditation is the best conscious path to reach and connect with superconsciousness.